Everybody, I am back with some brand new stories for you and one classic story. So the first book I have, since school is just starting, is called Amelia Bedelia's First Day of School. And I love Amelia Bedelia because she takes everything that people say very literally. And sometimes the words are just expressions, they're figurative language and they're not meant to take literally. So it's really funny. It's great writing. I love Amelia Bedelia books, and I wanted to share this one with you guys today. So it's Amelia Bedelia's First Day of School. Get it? So you guys can see. Amelia Bedelia couldn't wait to go to school. Here we are, said Mrs. Park, the bus driver. Time to jump off. Amelia Bedelia backed up, and then she ran as fast as she could, and she jumped as far as she could, because the bus driver told her to jump off. Amelia Bedelia landed right on top of a grown-up. Look, she landed right on top of that grown-up. Are you my teacher? She asked. I'm Miss O'Malley. I'm the gym teacher. Oh, said Amelia Bedelia, I'm not Jim. I'm Amelia Bedelia. Can you help me find my teacher? Follow me, said Miss O'Malley. And Amelia Bedelia did, right into her new classroom. Hello there. My name is Miss Edwards. You must be Amelia. How do you know? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Because you're my last tag, Miss Edwards said. Amelia Bedelia started running. You can't catch me, like the game of tag, not like a tag that you write your name on. I'm too fast. Come back, said Miss Edwards, laughing. We aren't playing tag. I have a name tag for you. Silly Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia looked at her name tag. Something was missing. She added Bedelia. I like my whole name, she said. It rhymes. So it does, said Miss Edwards. Now please sit wherever you would like. That was a hard choice for Amelia Bedelia. She liked the pictures of faraway places. She liked the letters marching across the top of the board. She liked the hamster running on its wheel. She liked everything she saw, so she sat down right in the middle of the classroom. Clap, clap. Shh, be as quiet as mice, said Miss Edwards. Now I'm sure you're here, Amelia Bedelia. I read the names of your classmates. Their names were very exciting, but Amelia Bedelia still loved her name best of all. Teddy, here. Holly, here. Chip, here. Angel, here. Penny, here. Don, here. She thinks that everybody's last name is here because that's what they're saying. If you have trouble, chickadees, said Miss Edwards, try wiggling your fingers on the clay. So that is exactly what Amelia Bedelia did. Soon Clay was laughing so hard he could not stop. Amelia Bedelia, said Clay, stop tickling me, because his name is Clay. Clean up, everybody, clean up, sang Miss Edwards. It's time for music. Miss Melody arrived with her guitar and tambourine. We will sing like birds today. La, 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 she trilled. And you know what Amelia Bedelia did? What do you think she did? Because the music teacher says, sing like a bird. Yep, she went tweet, 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 tweet. Then the students toured the library with Miss Stacks. I want to see your little noses in the book, said Miss Stacks. So what do you think Amelia Bedelia did? Yeah, she put her nose in the book. She's so funny. In gym class, Miss O'Malley taught them how to run like cheetahs. And what do you think of Miss Amelia Bedelia did? She was actually running like a cheetah when the gym teacher really meant to run like a cheetah means to run really fast. At last, it was time for lunch. Do you feel like a sloppy Joe? Asked the lady behind the lunch counter. No, said Amelia Bedelia. Do I look like one? Here you are, said the lady. I hope your eyes aren't bigger than your stomach. Me too, said Amelia Bedelia. Then they wouldn't fit in my head. Because that's an expression, it's figurative language. When your eyes are bigger than your stomach, it means that you get all this food when you really aren't that hungry. So all this figurative language, that's why Amelia Bedelia is such a great book. It's so funny because there's lots of figurative language that's used in here, lots of expressions, and she takes everything very literally. And Sloppy Joe, she thinks that's a person, not a sandwich. Amelia Bedelia, said Rose after lunch. Do you want to jump rope with us? Amelia Bedelia smiled. Sure, she said. She put the rope on the ground and jumped over it. Jumping the rope instead of jump rope, she jumped the rope. Amelia Bedelia was a terrific rope jumper, Rose giggled. So did Holly and Dawn and Joy. And before long, everyone on the playground was jumping rope the Amelia Bedelia way. So instead of like jumping the rope and turning it, she just was jumping over the rope. There was time for one last project. Miss Edwards brought out sheets of paper, glue, and scissors. This is free time, she said. Create something wonderful. Amelia Bedelia decided to make daisies for her mother. She got a piece of white paper for the petals and a piece of yellow paper for the centers and another piece of white paper and another piece of yellow paper and another piece of white paper and another piece of yellow paper. Amelia Bedelia, said Miss Edwards, don't be a ping pong ball. Sit down. But I need green for the stems. Enough is enough, said Miss Edwards. Please glue yourself to the seat. So she told her to glue herself to the seat. So what do you think Amelia Bedelia is going to do? She's going to actually glue herself to the seat. So Amelia Bedelia did. And since her daisies didn't have stems, she glued them to her headband until the school day ended. Goodbye, squirrels and ladybugs, said Miss Edwards. She was standing in the doorway, giving everyone a gold star. See you tomorrow. Soon Amelia Bedelia was the only one left. Amelia Bedelia, said Miss Edwards, why are you still here? Because, said Amelia Bedelia, you told me to glue myself to the seat. So I did, said Miss Edwards. So I did, said Amelia Bedelia. She's so funny. Amelia Bedelia stood by the chair and stood up with her. Miss Edwards chuckled, then laughed out loud. Oh, Amelia Bedelia, Miss Edwards said, I should have known better to say that to you, especially on your first day of school. As Miss Edwards got Amelia Bedelia unstuck, she whispered, you want to know a secret? Today is my first day of school, too. I'm a brand new teacher. We both deserve gold stars, said Amelia Bedelia. You'll have lots of fun tomorrow, said Miss Edwards. We're having an assembly. Hooray, said Amelia Bedelia. What are we going to build? Like you assemble something? That's what she thinks it is, not like a program. Memories, said Miss Edwards. Then she tapped Amelia Bedelia once on the very top of her head. Tag, said Miss Edwards. You're it until tomorrow. Amelia Bedelia smiled. She couldn't wait to come back to school. And that was Amelia Bedelia's first day of school. Okay, so I have another story. I hope you like that. It's really funny in how language it could be so interesting. And I really love figurative language when you have expressions and they don't literally mean what you're trying to say. And the next book I have is called The Library Fish. And it is by Alyssa Satin Capulci. Once there was a fish. She was not an ordinary fish. She didn't live in the sea or in the ocean. She didn't live in a river or a lake. In fact, when Mr. Hughes, the librarian, found her, he said, I'm not quite sure where you come from, but if you love stories, you come to the right place. Some libraries have lions, but this one has a fish, and it's the library fish. Hard as it might be to believe, Mr. Hughes was sure that the fish wiggled her tail. She may have even smiled, and from that day on, she was known as the library fish. She made her home on the desk of Mr. Hughes. It was there a perfect place to welcome all the visitors to the library. And from where she sat, library fish can check each book that was borrowed and returned. So the fish sat right on the desk. So everybody that came into the library could see the fish. Library fish quickly grew to love story time. Mr. Hughes read stories that made her laugh out loud. He read poems that filled her with wonder. And Mr. Hughes read in a bold voice, and he read in a whisper. Library fish met characters who were brave and kind, while others who were daring, shy, or inventive. Library fish learned about distant planets that she might visit one day. Because when you read a book, you can read about anything. Of course, library fish enjoyed an outing too. She loved days spent on the bookmobile. So a bookmobile is like a little truck, kind of like an ice cream truck, but instead of ice cream, it has books. Library fish could feel the excitement of the crowd awaiting their arrival. I want an adventure! Poetry, please. I need a long book for the road. Any books about puppies? What's the latest in the Wizard series? I think meerkats are cool. Libros en español, por favor. Are there any new graphic novels? I'm just learning how to read. So, just like in our libraries, there's lots of different people and lots of different reading levels and lots of different reading interests. And that's great because there is a book that is for everyone. One morning, library fish awoke bright and early. She waited for Mr. Hughes to arrive with his usual good morning library fish. She waited and waited, but the library doors remained closed. Where could Mr. Hughes be? Library fish looked out on the shelves. Every book sat patiently in its place. She looked out in the long windows. Could it be? There, for as long as she can see, was snow, thick snow, falling faster and harder than library fish has ever seen before. It reminded her of a story Mr. Hughes read, where snow fell so high and wide, it made a busy city streets come to a stop. Could snow make the library come to a stop too? Library fish swam around her bowl. She hummed a tune. She did some fancy spins. The snow kept falling. The library got quieter and quieter, and there was only one thing to do. The library may be closed on the outside, said Library Fish, but it's always open on the inside. There's a story waiting for me. I just have to find it. And Library Fish jumped, and she leaped, and she wiggled. She didn't get far at all. She said. She's trying to get out of her little bowl. Library Fish remembered the story of the magic beanstalk, and she reached and she stretched and she climbed to the top of her bowl until, she slid down. Flop. Arr, she said, maybe I can fly up like a superhero, said Library Fish. The thing was, she didn't have a cape. And Library Fish looked out her bowl and the moon peeked through the snowfall. That's it, said the Library Fish. If a rocket ship can soar to the moon, then maybe I can. Let's see what Library Fish decides to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! She shouted. Let's see. And with one big splash, Library Fish landed safely at the foot of a towering stack of books, filled with all the possibility of a great story. She set off at once. Library Fish looked over at the book cart. Some of the books were too high to reach, and some were too heavy. Library Fish went up and down the aisles. She passed shelf after shelf until she found just what she was looking for. So she got out and she's inside the library looking at all the books. There, in the story time corner, there were plenty of books ready for reading. Library Fish settled into the comfortable, cozy spot. She opened cover after cover. She turned page after page, and she pored over wonderful illustrations. And before long, something extraordinary happened. Library Fish was just about to reach for one more story when she heard first a beep, then a honk, and then vroom, vroom, vroom. Why didn't I think of it sooner? Library Fish said with a giggle. I'm not the only one around here who loves a good story. Let's see what she's thinking. Library Fish chose some of her very favorite books. And although it's already been a night filled with adventures, she was sure there was time for a few more. Library Fish read in a bold voice, and she read in a whisper. She read until she laughed out loud, and she read until she felt the bookmobile's engine rumble with joy. And before long, something extraordinary happened again. And there's the bookmobile. Remember, that's how it travels to give books to people in all different places. Look, just like the rocket ship. Look what's happening to the bookmobile. It's flying. And when the first rays of sun began to shine, a very tired Library Fish climbed back into her bowl. She dreamed wonderful dreams until... Good morning, Library Fish, said Mr. Hughes. Are you ready to welcome our visitors? She was ready indeed. Library Fish smiled. She wiggled her tail. Hard as it might be to believe, Mr. Hughes was sure Library Fish yawned too. Because Library Fish had a very long night. Lots of adventures, and books can take you to lots of different adventures. That's the exciting thing about books. Okay, I got one more. Those were two new books, and the last one is a classic book, and it's Don't Let the Pigeon Stay Up Late. So I need your help with this one. We are not letting the pigeon stay up late. Oh, good. It's you. Listen, it's getting late and I need to brush my teeth. Can you do me a favor? Don't let the pigeon stay up late. Okay, so we're not going to let him stay up late. Thanks. First of all, I'm not even tired. In fact, I'm in the mood for a hot dog party. What do you say? No. I hear there's a good show about birds on TV tonight. Should be very educational. How about 5 more minutes? Come on. What's 5 minutes in the grand scheme of things? What? What? You know, we never get to talk anymore. Tell me about your day. I got a great idea. We can count the stars. Can I have a glass of water? Studies show that pigeons hardly need any sleep at all. It's the middle of the day in China. I'll go to bed early tomorrow night instead. Hey ho, this here pigeon just won't go. Please. My bunny wants to stay up too. You can't say no to a bunny, can you? Okay, that was not a yawn. I was just stretching. I'm 110% awake. You haven't heard the last of me. Look what's happening. He's falling asleep. Great work. Thanks. Good night. So you guys did it. You didn't let the pigeon stay up late and he went to sleep, and look what he's dreaming about. He's dreaming about a hot dog party. This is Edison. And that was don't let the pigeon stay up late. I hope you enjoyed all those stories. Please keep reading, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, everyone.